Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator, and welcome back to Verona, Italy. So, did a little bit more work while we were here. Got some ghost ring fog lights, top and bottom, and also, let me start her up. So, in the, what are we calling this? We're calling it the S, the 2016, the next gen, whatever you want to call it, the new Scania. Right, it's got lights mounted in the frame, like in the bodywork, in the monocoque, whatever you want to call it. It's got lights mounted in there, and you can sort of turn them all on and off in the upgrade shop. So I went ahead and put those in, and then I got, like I said, 4 ghost ring top, 4 ghost ring bottom. I've got some of the Borman LEDs on our scuff guard down low, but I don't know. I mean, they seem to be throwing, like, that's a lot of, right? But I don't know. We'll see. That is a workshop mod, and it updates automatically, and I feel like the mod maker is really experimenting with what kind of light and what kind of throw those lights have. So that, to me, that seems a little excessive, but you know, whatever. It's not the end of the world. So it's 7 a.m. Raining, of course. I feel like we should turn the rain down. I feel like it rains too much. What do I know? What do I know? Let's take a job. Let's get out of here. So we're in Verona. Where do you want to go? You want to go, I don't want to get too far down into Italy. We could go sort of due west or southwest, right? Or west by southwest, this way, and make our way back to Reims. Or we could go out this way and see how that works out. Basically, I want to get back to Reims because I want to swap out trucks one more time as we level up, and then I want to do essentially the same trip. God, ProMods put some cities on this map, man. Holy smokes. That ProMods is, they are no joke. If you don't have ProMods, you got to get on that. They are next level. Right, so I want to go back to Iceland, but I don't know if I want to go anti-clockwise, right? So head up into Poland, or if I want to go back to the UK and do it the same way we did it before, but just in a new profile. I don't know. I'm on the fence, man. I'm always on the fence. But part of that is going to be determined by what's available here. So that's pretty much going north. These are all, well, they look like dolly trailers right now, but when we go in to pick one out, we would be able to, Palermo, that's just like, oh, that's interesting. What is that, Hungary? I feel like we haven't spent a lot of time there. You want to do it? How far is it? 462 kilometers? Let's see what's back this way. Really nothing. Slovakia, which is more or less the same direction. Austria, nothing really going into France. All right, let's do it. Let's go to Hungary. Now, I will tell you in advance that the way these KAST trailer packs are, 60 kilometers. We'll have to get fuel. But I think other than that, we'll be fine. The way these KAST trailer packs are, if we do anything but pick the trailer that's already sort of selected for us, it's going to put a long pause in the game. And I feel like my recording software sees that pause as the end of a recording. Like there's nothing moving on screen, and it's like, oh, okay, I see you're done. And it turns itself off. So if that's the case, what I'll do is just restart the recording and then splice it together in my editing software. So if you see a jump cut, and I'll warn you before the jump cut, because you know my thing, like, no jump cuts. So if you see a jump cut, that will be the reason why. And other than that, what's going on? Not a whole lot. Sunday night, where I am. I see you. Sunday night where I am, there's fixing to be an NBA game shortly. Golden State and the Cavaliers. Looking forward to that. Very exciting game, that previous one. Overtime, always a good thing. So, looking forward to that. NHL, you know, my Penguins are out of it. And, I mean, I guess I could kind of hate on the Capitals because they do have kind of a rivalry with the Penguins. And as far as Las Vegas, the Golden Knights, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still not entirely used to the Sharks and the Ducks. That's, hey, easy. Oh, this is why I take damage. So, yeah, it takes me a long time. Like, I know there are people that still refer to the Dodgers as the Brooklyn Dodgers. Not too many, but I know there's a few people that still see it that way. So, an expansion team, I don't know. I mean, I lived in Denver for a while, and I consistently referred to the Avalanche as the Colorado Nordiques, and got a lot of grief for that. So, I don't know how I feel about the Golden Knights. I think it's going to take a little while, and I'm not into conspiracy theories. And when I say I'm not into conspiracy theories, what I mean is I really am into conspiracy theories. Not that I actually believe any of them, but they fascinate me. Conspiracy theories fascinate me. And I truly don't believe in conspiracy theories. I think they're just people with very active imaginations trying to make sense of chaos. And me personally, I love chaos. I embrace it. I'm all about the entropy. But I can understand why a person would want an all-encompassing theory to make sense of things that don't make sense to them. And when I hear people say, oh, you know, something terrible happened in Las Vegas, and so they're going to get, right, because there was a hurricane in Houston last year, and then the Astros won the World Series. And it's one of those things that, from a certain angle, it does sort of make sense. And then from another angle, it's like, that's the dumbest thing. What, like, 1,500 people were killed in a hurricane. So, months later, a bunch of millionaires are going to win a baseball game? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how does that... And who does that? Like, what entity, what organization? It's the Illuminati, of course. The Illuminati decide who win the World Series and the Stanley Cup, obviously. So, the idea that the Golden Knights are going to win the Stanley Cup because something horrible happened in Las Vegas last year is like a conspiracy theory du jour, and I find it hilarious, and it amazes me. People are just about my favorite thing in the world, which is funny because I don't really like people. I'm not a people person, not a very sociable person, but people fascinate me, and the things that they do and the things that they say and like their beliefs and motivations, it just fascinates me. I want to study them like a bug. But the idea that someone would convince themselves that there is an organization called the Illuminati, and it decides things like who wins the World Series, and then it decides who wins the World Series based on things like whether or not something bad happened in your city. Like, it's just so absurd. But there are people that truly, truly believe it, and they take it so seriously. So, we'll see what happens with the Golden Knights, but I have no dog in that hunt at this point. Should we risk it? I mean, we can just take, it just looks like a trailer. I mean, we can just take it. But if we go into this other menu, it's going to be, it's going to be a mess, and nothing's going to happen in there anyway. We're just going to look at like 1,000 trailers and then pick one, and then it's just going to be a trailer anyway. So we'll just go with this one and make sure the recording doesn't take an unexpected pause. Right. I feel like the game's looking pretty good. I feel like our frame rate is... Oh, are you kidding me? literally as the words are coming out of my mouth. Oh, game. You are... Oh. You're effing with me now, aren't you? Don't pretend you're not. Because you are... Okay. Right. Other than that, I feel like our render's pretty good. I feel like our FPS is pretty good. I took our scaling back up to 200. Right? We were at 400. And we were smooth. We were... I can't think of a smooth thing, but whatever a smooth thing is, we were smooth like that. Like a smoother. And then... And then NVIDIA, who I'm beginning to trust less and less, I have to say. You give me some... No, you didn't, did you? Did you? No, you didn't. Oh, game. I'm so mad right now. I don't even want to... Where are we taking these? Hungary. I don't even want to go to Hungary anymore. Forget it. Taking my straw bales and going home. What was I talking about? What's his name again? Man, I don't even remember. I'll be real with you. I've had a couple glasses of wine. It's the end of the weekend. You know how it goes. Right. So, scaling. That's it. That's what I was talking about. NVIDIA. I don't know, man. It says they have these like game-specific drivers now. Like when I download a driver update, it's all, you know, this driver includes optimization features for European Truck Simulator. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let's check it out. And it never looks good. It never looks right. Like, I don't know what it's based on or how they calculate that, but it never really looks good, I don't think. I never like the settings. So it was like, oh yeah, you want to totally turn your scaling down to 125. And I was like, sure thing, NVIDIA. If you say so. And I did, and it was just like ragged picket fence, 8-bit everywhere. So, no, I don't think I do want to turn it down to 125. So, turn it back up to 200. And we took a little bit of a hit on FPS, maybe 5 FPS we dropped. But I think it's looking pretty crisp and clear. And that's how I like it. Right. While I was debating whether or not to go to Fast Pass, I drove into the lane that's not Fast Pass. That's how that played out. Right. He wants to go? He doesn't want to go. He wants to go. Oh, he's going. So, right. This is what we'll do. Now, because we had our lag spike, does that mean we're done now? We won't have another one? Because that would be fantastic. I continue, like, I'm not kidding, daily, for you, my viewers, my subscribers, daily I look online to try to find out what is causing that. And I just experiment with things, and it's like nothing that I've tried has worked, and I have no idea what the deal is. And there's all these theories about what it is, but nobody knows. Obviously, nobody knows. They would just say it, and then I would do it. But I'll keep looking. I'll track it down. What I'm thinking now is that because it seemed to get worse when I went to SSD, one of the things that I've read is it's not the capture, it's not the encoding, it's that periodically your RAM has to transfer to your SSD, and it's like some kind of weird bus bottleneck thing. I don't know. Something, shared memory, RAM, page file. You know what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated. I don't want to have to buy a new gaming system because one sim out of 12 has a lag spike for 5 seconds every half hour, right? Like, you realize how absurd that is? Well, Now hear me out. It is absurd. It's completely absurd. But then at the same time, if you're gamers, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you've probably at some point in your life done the same thing, right? Where you're like, oh, this tiny little insignificant thing happened. Guess I better buy a new gaming system. And that's sort of where I'm at right now. Like, I'm not really in the market for a new gaming system. I would love to get an i8. I would love to bump up to 32 gig of RAM. I would love to do a lot of things. And the fact that I have a lag spike in one sim every now and then is probably not a good enough reason to do that. But I bet I could convince myself. And it probably wouldn't even take a lot of effort. I bet I could. So, we'll see how that works out. Right? I don't know how low I need to turn the rain probability. I like, well, lower than it is, I guess, is the answer to that. I'm looking for a number. Like, oh, does it need to be this, or does it need to be this? Well, just make it less. Let's see how that works out. Because I was thinking, well, I do still want it to rain. I like driving in the rain, but I feel like there's too much rain, you know? And it's that OCD, man. I'm like, well, what if I turn it down and then it doesn't rain enough? It's like, well, why don't you turn it down and see how much it rains? Maybe it'll still rain too much. So I got to turn that down, and I will. Not right this second, but I will. And when I say not right this second, but I will, what I actually mean is I will totally forget about it and not do it till the next time it rains. It's one of those kind of deals. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I downloaded a Mexican map for American Truck Sim. Downloaded the Mexican map and played it for about 5 minutes and got rid of it. It looks, I mean, there's got to be hundreds and hundreds of hours of work put into it. And what's terrible is it just looks really kind of fake and half done, if that makes sense. Like, it just looks really, I don't want to say bad, but like, look at the level of detail and not clutter. I mean, clutter is almost the right word, but you look at the level of detail in this map right now, right? And we say that this is 2018. Take away like 2/3 of the textures and objects that are on the map right now, and that would make it, say, 2008. That's what those Mexican maps look like. They're not bad, they just look really dated and sort of empty and kind of fake. So I'm not going to run those. I tried them, but it's, for one thing, the terrain looks exactly the same as New Mexico and Arizona. It's just got some new city names in there, new places to drive to, but all the buildings are the same. They just have different signage on them. And I also found that, I guess, the company names, now I don't want to say this definitively because it could just be the way that I deployed the mod, but I found that the company names like overwrote all my company name mods and trailer skin mods and basically took everything back to absolute vanilla base game, but with a bunch of Mexican company and truck names, which is not, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, other than the fact that I lost all my company names that I had brought in very specifically. So I went ahead and deleted it. It's just one of those things. Every time I see a mod like that, I am more and more impressed with ProMods, because ProMods is just, it's such an unbelievable accomplishment, and I have no idea. I mean, I pay the €1 every time I download it because you get all the files, like you get whatever it is, couple of gig of files in one file instead of like a bunch of little pieces that you have to put together. but I give them €1, right? Like every 6 months, I give ProMods €1. And I know a lot of people download ProMods, but even if it's like, let's say it's, 50,000 people twice a year, so that's 100,000 people a year, so that's €100,000 a year. You split that between 2 or 3 people, and it's really not a lot of money. €100,000 split between 4 people is €25,000. That's not a fortune. Plus, they're paying for server space, they're paying for bandwidth. So, I don't have any problem paying them the €1, but I don't think those guys are, getting rich or anything. I don't know how they do it. If it's a crew of volunteers, I have an unbelievable amount of respect for whoever it is that's managing them, because managing people that you're paying is a lot easier than managing volunteers. Because people that you're paying, you can be like, listen, man, do your job or I'll stop paying you. I'll fire you. But with volunteers, you can't really, not threaten them. That's not quite the right word, but you know what I mean. You can't tell a volunteer that you're going to fire them, because they're like, well, I'm a volunteer. I'll just go volunteer somewhere else. I don't need to, it's not like I have to go find another job. It's a lot easier to find another place to volunteer than it is to find another job. So it's a lot more meaningful to threaten to fire somebody that works for you than it is to threaten to fire somebody who's volunteering for you. So if it's a crew of volunteers and somebody is able to manage them and get that quality of work out of them, that is unbelievable and very, very impressive. I'm just, every time I see a map mod and I download it and I try it and it's just kind of, that's not bad, but it's not great. I am just that much more impressed with ProMods because it is so good. And even like this, like 2.27, I really did think it was going to be at least a few weeks after 1.31 official came out from SCS. I figured it had to be a few weeks, for SCS to not SCS, ProMods. Had to be a few weeks for ProMods to, get everything sorted out, get all their ducks in a row, whatever. And it was like 2 days later, 3 days later. Like 1.31 came out on a Tuesday, and then ProMods 2.27 came out on like a Thursday. Crazy. And I know that ProMods works with SCS behind the scenes. I get that. And I know they have access to information and maps and stuff before the rest of us do. I get that. But it's still, and depending on where you've worked and what you've done, if you've ever been in a corporate environment where there are work groups and deliverables and just all the things that go with productivity, you know how difficult it can be to, even something like just a basic meeting, or getting people to sign off on a memo or something. That can take more than 2 days. And that 2 days after 1.31 came out, the new ProMods was available. That to me is amazing. And then, like I was saying earlier, even more so if it's a volunteer crew. And just, But bottom line, Mexico map for me, didn't really do it for me. Feeling like that's not ready yet. So we're sticking around with just base game map in ATS, and we'll wait for Oregon. Still no release date, but I feel like SCS, I feel like things happen kind of fast with them, so we'll see if they not surprise us, but you know what I mean. Like they make the announcement on a Friday and then it drops on Monday or something. But the second that drops, I promise I will. Now I need to get over, because I feel like, we've got 200 kilometers. We've got 200 kilometers and we should probably be okay. But I feel like we should get fuel. Because we're pretty low. Right. doing that thing where I get quiet because I'm like concentrating. And then I realized that what I'm concentrating on is really not, it's like not that involved. I'm just hitting a few buttons on my gamepad and then holding X. It's not, you know, not solving the Yang-Mills theory or anything. Right. If there would be one thing that I would change about the Sound Fixes pack, it would be the fuel refill sounds. I think those are kind of hokey with the seatbelt and the keys jingling and everything. I really love the other 99.9% of the sounds in that pack, but the fuel refilling I think is a little bit hokey to me. And I also need to figure out this trailer that we're hauling. I need to figure out where this came from, because I was under the impression that all my mod trailers they were all brought up to 1.31 standard. They all had the airlines. So I'll take a peek and see if I've got a legacy mod or something in there. Right. So all right. We're making progress. It looks like, I mean, from the look of that road sign, I think we're out of Italy. So I think we turned the corner. Or somewhere in Hungary. Maybe. And I don't know. I've read all kinds of speculation about what plans SCS has long term. Where they want to take the game to. I've heard some people say they want to go down into Spain and Portugal, and then into North Africa. Other people said, definitely Russia, and like all of Scandinavia, and then Russia. And the thing about Russia is it's 11,000 miles across, so you don't really, I think, need to do like the whole width of the country from side to side. But then you've got like all the Eastern Bloc countries, and then you get down into the Middle East and Afghanistan and Iran, and then people are like, well, yeah, but at that point it's no longer a European Truck Simulator. That's like Asian Truck Simulator. So is that going to be a separate game? And if it is, then you got the possibility of having it based in like India or China. So I don't know. I've heard rumors of like what their plans are. We'll see what they do. I'm curious. I don't know if I would really be into Asian Truck Simulator. I think I'm pretty content with European Truck Simulator. I don't have any problem with I do not trust the AI in this game. And I mean, if you ask me, like right there, we were going straight into a lane. Would it not make sense that we have the right of way? Right? Is that not our lane? And it looked like that gangster that came in from the right looked like he was merging. So we would have the right of way, and then we would yield to him. Like he would yield to us because we have the right of way, unless we chose to let him in. But I feel like he chose to merge, and then I decided it would be better if I let him in, and then I did. But right? We'll play it back. We'll check the tape. But I feel like had I not slowed down, he would have just driven into the side of us. So, I don't know. Oh, this is very narrow. Very narrow. It's pretty though. Alright. It opens up a little bit. Beautiful. No, I guess we are still in Italy. Okay. I think we're about to not be, but for the moment we are. Okay. Wait, that's right. Trieste is still in Italy, is it not? Yeah. Definitely still in Italy. Okay. Right? There's the Carabinieri. Beautiful. Thank you, sir. So, not in Hungary yet. I thought we were. I guess we have a little ways to go. Oh, I've also been, and you may have picked up on this, I'm continuing to, oh, there you go. Beautiful. I'm continuing to struggle with sound, and I keep turning my sound down, and I feel like now what I am beginning to think it might be is that I don't have a powered microphone. I'm just using the sort of base model microphone in my gaming headset, which is, it's a pretty nice headset, but obviously it's not a production microphone. It's a gaming microphone. So it's going to be a little potato. But it's not, I feel like it's not powered, and it doesn't have a compressor or a limiter or anything. Right, so now we're definitely in Hungary. Oh, I'm sorry, we're in Slovenia. Beautiful. But my levels, I feel like I need to just keep turning, in the mix, I need to keep turning the levels for the game audio down to the point where they're at like, I mean, in the game, my levels a lot of time are set to like 15 and 20%, right? Like I have my headset, I have to have my headset so cranked, it's not distorted or anything, but like the in-game audio is set to 20 or 30, and then my headset or my system volume that plays in my headset is at like 75%, which to me is a little high. I typically keep it around 50. So then the shadow play settings, I have to keep lowering and lowering and lowering the level for the game capture, like for the audio of the game that's capturing, till that's like super low too. And I'm wondering if, when I get a proper microphone, if I'm going to be able to turn down the audio for the microphone and turn up the audio for the game, because it seems like right now the level for my microphone is so low that I need to jack it, and then it's still not enough, so I need to turn down the game audio to like compensate for that, if that makes sense. But it's like I can't get it low enough, so I just uploaded Assetto Corsa, a race from Assetto Corsa. A race from Assetto Corsa, and my voice could be a little higher, I have to say. But the thing is, like I said, the game audio is at 25, and the microphone audio is at 95, and then in-game, it's turned down there as well. Wait, over here. Oh, come on. This is the Poland rebuilding syndrome, where the speed camera is mounted like 1 meter past the change in speed limit. Fortunately. Oh, no, I take that back. We're on a brand new profile. We have like no money. Okay. That changes things a little bit. Less tickets. We're down to 1,900 pounds. All right, let's go get paid. Try to make up for the 2 tickets we just got dinged for. Love the tractors in traffic. So I think you get what I'm saying. Like as soon as it's feasible to get a microphone going. I'm really curious to see if, a good microphone is going to take the level up enough where I need to actually decrease the microphone volume in Shadowplay. And then when that's not enough, then I'll need to bring the game volume up a little bit to compensate. You know what I'm talking about. Well, we got a couple tickets, but we haven't hit anything. That's always a bonus. And because I said that now, you know what's going to happen. So I'm going to hit something, and then I'm going to have a fit. Staying over here. My fellow trucker. Where's this guy going? All right. Okay, almost there. And I'm positive that I've been to this part of the map at some point in some profile, but I feel like it's been a minute. None of this really looks familiar to me. So we'll get this delivered and get paid. See how we're doing on money. Zagreb. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is the Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia kind of setup. Is that right? Is that how we're rocking down here? I think it is. Yeah, I get that there's a lot more Europe that they could expand the game to before they get to like Afghanistan and Iran. And I don't have any problem, like, socially, politically. I don't care where they expand the game to. The more the merrier, yo. I'll drive anywhere. But I feel like there's a lot more Europe that they need to cover before they get into like Afghanistan. They got a few kilometers left to take care of. Oy, what's going on here? Alright. Oh, we got some shenanigans is what we got. And that was, I know that looked completely mental, but what happened was, the way I have my steering set up, the linearity and sensitivity, like there was no way we were going to be able to make that turn, so I figured I'd just stop, and I'd rather start from a dead stop than drive into the guardrail, and we were just about to. I know my gamepad. And I would like to be on a wheel, but it's just not feasible for me. I mean, I've looked at basically what I would need to do is I would need to get a Pelican set up, Pelican cases. This is not where we need to be going. Missed our turn. Not cool. Well, it's only 60 kilometers, which is not, it won't take too awful long. But I do not like missing turns. Right. I've looked at like a Pelican setup, a Pelican case setup, and then Fanatec wheel and pedals, and carrying them is kind of a pain in the ass because they are big, and the wheel base is pretty heavy with the motors and the force feedback and everything. It's pretty heavy. But I mean, I could put it all in a Pelican case, no problem. The problem is, what do I do with it when I get where I'm going? Because I don't like not every hotel has a cool desk set up that I can just like bolt a steering wheel to. You know, not bolt it, like you don't need to cut into the wood or anything, but you need to like clamp it. And Fanatec, that's good stuff, man. That's not like there was a wheel set up back in the day where oh, game. Why does it have to be like that? There was a wheel set up back in the day that I swear like there was a shark fin coming out the bottom of the wheel, and then it had like a little thing on the bottom of it, and you just held it between your legs. Like you put the shark fin between your thighs, and it had like a little flange on the bottom that went under each of your legs. And seriously, you just held the thing between your thighs. Like it didn't clamp to anything. It's a good idea, but it's also, I feel like everything's going kind of pear-shaped on us here. So I think about, you know, setups like that and how kind of hokey that is. And I feel like, you know, taking a Fanatec wheel, which is an amazing system, taking a Fanatec wheel and just trying to like friction clamp it to a random desk in a hotel, it deserves better than that. You know, it's not, this isn't like some Toys R Us item and you just like hold it between your legs while you drive. It's not like that. So transporting it is enough of a pain in the ass. But then on top of that is the idea that we have to do something with it when I'm in a hotel room. And that's, I think, not the bigger problem, but like that's the real problem is what do I do with it? And at a certain point, you know, at a certain point it's like, okay, so let's say hypothetically I did have a Fanatec wheel and pedals in a Pelican case. And it's like, okay, well, you know, that's kind of bulky, so you probably want to keep the rest of your rig down. But then another part of me is like, well, shoot, man, at that point, I would not be opposed to hauling around, I'm not even joking, like a chassis desktop PC in a Pelican case, and then we just HDMI into the TV in a hotel room. But that doesn't work because the TV is nowhere near the desk. So we would need to be like, right? You see what I'm saying? Now we're like moving the desk over in front of the TV with the HDMI, and that's the whole point of being the portable gamer is, you know, I'm doing this with a laptop and a gamepad, and I'm doing that for a reason. You know, that this isn't, the whole point of this is to be portable. So, I don't know. I would love to be on a wheel. I really, really would. But it's just not the time or the place for it. At some point, maybe. When I get off the road. Here we go. Well, we wasted a little time. I think we were about 10 or 15 kilometers away when I made that wrong turn. So we wasted a little time, but fortunately not a ton of time. So we'll get this dropped off. Are we going to level up? I don't remember. I seriously don't. Are we that close? Oh, with the red lights. Come on, game. I don't know if we're going to level up or not. I feel like we just did. Did we not? I think maybe we just did. Well, we're still, I think we're like level 3, level 4 or something, so we're still stacking XP pretty quickly. You know, the way games do. Get you leveled up a few times really fast and keep you encouraged and make you like the game, so make you feel like you're doing something. So maybe we will level up again. And even if we don't, that's fine. And I guess from here, I don't know, man. Because if we commit, right, to heading up into Poland, then we're committing to making our trip through Scandinavia in this Scania. And I feel like we did our last trip through Scandinavia in a Scania. I don't know if I want to do it again. Kind of want to do it in that Mercedes, in the MP3. Okay. Well, we'll see. We're far enough south right now that we could just turn around and go back. I mean, we're not that far from Austria and Switzerland, and it wouldn't take us more than like 2 trips or maybe 3 to be back in Reims, and then we could do. If we've leveled up, I don't know if we'll be up level 14. You know what I mean. We'll level up a little bit, buy another vehicle, and then make our trip clockwise. Or we just stay in this and go anti-clockwise. I don't know. I'm easy. Right. I keep feeling like something terrible is about to happen to us. And I don't know why. Why would I think that? All right. We're so close. Oh, the red lights. I know I'm getting tired. I don't know. You know, our last trip we did get cut kind of short because we came down onto the Baltics and then we more or less just went west across Germany right back to Reims. And I think we may have even cut off the end bit. So we've been to Iceland. We've definitely been to Scandinavia. We haven't spent a lot of time in Eastern Europe. So maybe if we are going to do the trip again, we will do it anti-clockwise. And we could just start it now. Or we could go back to Reims and use the trips between here and there, right? Between here and there, we would level up a couple times. And then between there and back, we would level up a couple times. And then we find a Mercedes dealer and buy that MP3. That's a possibility too. Okay. Well, we don't need to decide anything today. I guess. I think this truck has. I think you can get a version of this with a bigger sleeper. So I would want to do that before we went up into Scandinavia. I feel like 4x2, I mean, I know there's plenty of 4x2s in Scandinavia, but I just feel like, particularly if we're going to throw Frosty Mod back on, I would want 6x4. feel like I owe this to you. All right, here we go. Right. How'd we do? We made 10 grand. That's cool. And we did level up. Fantastic. All right, so we were pretty low on money, and we're not anymore. Let's do fragile cargo. Boom. Let me apply that, and I think that'll do it. Yeah. I'm going to, off camera, I'm going to take a look and see what we've got going as far as upgrades, what we can add to the truck. So I'll take care of that, and I will see you next time. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator. Take care now.